Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another Market Mates episode. Am I on the right mic? I am on the right
Yeah,
mic
you're
this
good.
morning. Excellent. It's been a while since we've been, so I just need to check it because sometimes it just randomly resets on me. Craig, mate, happy birthday for yesterday. And mate, I hope you had a lovely time with your family who all came over from New Zealand over the past sort of 6 or so days. Again, a massive shout out to everyone for tuning in across all of our platforms. But yeah, we obviously both had a bit of family with us from overseas for the first time in a while. So that was why we took a little bit of a hiatus over the past few days. So we are back to the normal show live. Craig, mate, how was your weekend and also the end of your last week as well?
Yeah, good, man. Thanks, Greeny, Jim, everyone. Happy birthday, I think, to you, wasn't it, as well?
No, that's in a week, next Monday.
Oh, am I ahead of you? Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
my bad. Okay, well, happy birthday to me then. Yeah, it was good, man. I just ate heaps of food, spent time with family, try to keep off the markets, tried not to look at it. Obviously, you can't help yourself. You're probably the same. Still
Always.
look, can't help myself. Told myself I wouldn't, and every day I do about every couple of hours. I'm like, what's Bitcoin doing? And then lo and behold, I saw Bitcoin pull back. Everyone got excited at 74. And then we broke back down. So, no, but anyway, the weekend was good, dude. It was good to be with family. Mum and dad go tomorrow. So nice to, my son had the whole week of school last week to spend time with them. So it was a busy week, but no, good to be back. How was your, you got family here as well, don't you?
I do, yeah. So my sisters have flown over from the UK, and they haven't been in Australia for 2+ years. So I saw them obviously late last year when I went to Europe, but before that it was about an 18-month process. So yeah, really good to catch up with them over the past week. They they had an apartment as well locally. And dude, it was stunning apartment. It's like a $3 million apartment. It's crazy. Just and it was actually pretty affordable to stay there during like for the week. So really nice to catch up, really close to the beach. Really nice to just step away for a little bit. Probably not a bad time to step away when the market is not as, I mean, like there's a lot of volatility, which we'll talk about in the show. Like we'll talk about, everything that's impacting markets worldwide. But also in the same token, there's not a lot of opportunity in crypto specifically, Craig. So it's not a bad time to, as we've been saying for a while, to spend time learning, to spend time building, to start thinking about AI integration, and to continue sort of just understanding where we potentially could head in the coming months. And to be honest, man, with all this geopolitical stuff heading like happening, and we'll talk about that shortly. Like, I'm so bearish still. Like, I'm actually quite bearish on a lot of things. It's a very interesting time. We'll talk a little bit about Australia as well, because I think Australia is actually going to probably be hit the worst nearly across the world because of our fuel shortages. So we'll be talking about that too as well. But yeah, Craig, not a bad time to step away, but also you kind of need to keep your finger on the pulse, because I do think you're going to get your Bitcoin below 60K again soon, I think, man. I do think that.
Yeah, I was watching it when it broke back down from 74. Obviously, that was a pretty key level. And I was like, okay, here we go. It's either we're going to break above and we're going to get a nicer relief rally here, or we're going to break below back into the channel and probably back down and retest 59.60. Looks like fate wants us to retest support down the bottom. So I'm like, good for me. Yay. But probably not for people that aped in at 74 and got excited, which is probably one of the reasons you and I last week said, stay calm. We're in a range. 74 is nice, but 60 is nicer, so hang in there. Obviously, you and I are pretty open to it going higher. That's great. And as traders, you have to be open to any scenario. But the scenario that's unfolding here is the exact scenario that I thought would happen. Not to say, yeah, I'm right, but it kind of is. It's like, yeah, steady as she goes. That's why I don't really get my pulse up now with price moves, because I still think the trend's down, as much as people probably don't want to hear that. And until we see a reversal, I think we just go lower. As you and I spoke about last week, in the bull market, what you get rallies of 20%, sometimes 40%.
In a bear market, up to 46% previously. So
yeah, man, it's kind of business as usual, unfortunately, in the bear market. This is just bear market stuff right now. And as you said, not a lot of opportunities in the market either, unfortunately. Like, I'm looking. And I just mean any new sort of stuff, like a new Ponzi, a new DeFi, a new anything. And it's like, hey, Rocky, what's up? But it looks like a lot of people have left. It's gone very quiet. And I suppose with a lot of people leaving CT, a a lot of businesses probably tighten their belts, step away, decide this isn't the place to make a quick buck anymore. And here we are. The real builders are here now. Congratulations, guys. You kind of almost made it now. If you're still here listening, this is a bear market, guys. You're in one now. Like, if you didn't think you were, now you know what one feels like, and you know why it's so hard to stick around. How boring is it, guys? It's boring.
And it's not, I don't think it changes anytime soon, Craig. Like we said, and we like, again, guys, if you've watched this show, listened to this show for the past like 6 months, we were saying this is going to happen because like we've just done this many times before. Where 15 years of crypto experience between us, right? So like it's expected, and it's great that we prepared for this, and I think it's important that we continue to just update you in real time with what's happening. So don't forget, guys, you can sign up for BTCC down below. No VPN, no KYC to sign up to their platform. 10% deposit bonus and up to 30K rewards on their platform. We do have a trading competition as well, so that is going live via BTCC. You can sign up down below. As always, not financial advice. Please always do your own research. Yeah, Craig, we have a look here. We did obviously hit 76K. When was that? The 7th, pretty much on our show last week at the 17th of March. So it's been down only since then. I am short from about 73.4, I think my entry is.
Yeah,
have taken a little bit of profit here, but it's an interesting time, man, because like no matter what you look at here, like if we zoom out a little bit and go to the daily, like for those listening, like this is a bear flag. Like this is a bear flag with higher lows, higher highs. Like that's a continuation pattern on a macro scale. That means we have to go lower. The issue is there's still a lot of institutional wealth buying up OTC. The demand for Bitcoin accumulation from 100K plus wallets is still at all-time highs. So inevitably, like that, it still remains a very good opportunity in my opinion. It's just, do we go a little bit lower? We have these weekly levels that I've had marked out for a while at 55 to 57K, which goes all the way back to when was this? Way back here in September 2024, Craig. So massive levels there. There's also a lot of confluence areas down at 45K. I don't know if we go that deep, but given potentially the scenario that's happening over there in the Middle East, potentially we do go into the 40K region. So it's all about patience. It's all about consistency. It's all about discipline. It's all about just actually being objective and not subjective, not being emotional, trying to remove your bias, trying to remove what you hope to happen, and rather just looking at what's happening in real time. So yeah, I mean, very interesting scenario happening here, Craig, particularly with everything with the war and everything that's happening, because that is definitely impacting people's affordability, right? So just to let's touch on some of those points right now. So oil prices, this article was written well, it was written this morning and it was updated 1 hour ago. So oil prices to rise further on Monday as the Middle East war escalates. And I read this morning that, yeah, oil prices have actually gone above, was it $115, I think, Craig? Let me just pull up Hyper Liquid.
Yeah, I'm just looking as well.
Which is really interesting because gold and silver also dumped over the past few days as well. Okay, no, sorry, back over 105 if we pull this up on the screen as well. Oil is back over $106. It did hit $110 as of this morning. But oil continues to rise as it becomes a finite resource, man. So if we have a look here, Trump gives Iran 48 hours ultimatum to reopen the Hormuz Strait. Trump threatens to obliterate the Iranian power plants. Iran says to respond with attacks on Gulf energy, desalination facilities, and oil closed nearly 4-year high on Monday. Craig, like what, like. This is impacting affordability. Like this is impacting, which is crazy to think about, right? This impacts obviously oil prices, and that's the first step. But then you need to think about the indirect impact that this has on the world. So for us in Australia, it's a very different story because we are so far away. Our oil/fuel reserves are really low. Our gas reserves are also low. We're sending that overseas, buying it back more expensive. Like this is impacting us in a range of different ways, to the point that it's probably going to drive, or fuel prices have skyrocketed. It's going to therefore impact travel. It's therefore going to impact inflation. It's therefore going to impact mortgage rates. It's therefore going to impact fuel suppliers for groceries and whatnot. Okay. So produce and groceries will increase. Affordability then increase, and people therefore have no money left to invest in risk on assets. So what happens? People sell that because they can't afford to hold these anymore, or they're not allocating buys to these things. It's just a sequential order of what's happening due to this war over in the Middle East.
Yeah, it is tough. I was speaking to a guy I know who works for a big construction company, government contracts. So I suppose you call it civil, but I was talking to him on Friday, and these are the big boys in the construction world here in Australia, and he was saying that basically they've got about all the work that they've tendered for, quoted, now they can't do the jobs, because if they do the jobs for those quotes, they'll actually lose money because of the fuel.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
they've had to go back to the government now and say, we can't do the job starting Monday unless we re-tender or renegotiate a price to build the roads in Australia and all the construction that we have done around Australia. And he was saying basically they're going to have to go to the government today and say, we'll do work for 2 weeks at the agreed rate. After that, the boys stop and we don't work. So
to add fuel to that
that's
fire,
massive, dude.
to add more to that, my good friend who trades for a hedge fund, lots of money. He trades everything, right? And he was also saying that WA mines have already started to shut because they can't get fuel to their mines to run all their trucks, to run the coal or whatever it is coming out of there, right? So, dude, it's already happening, and our fuel reserves are hitting like 20 days or 30 days, in between 20 and 30 days before we run out. That's jet fuel, that's petrol, and that's diesel. Australia is not in a good place, and I just bought a house, and so my inflation, it settled obviously last week or the week before, and so we've already had 2 rate increases since we bought the house a month ago. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It's I mean, the interesting part is, I guess everyone is wondering what would bring the property market down and what will bring the whole economy down, crashing. And I guess we're getting our answer now. This is one of the things. I don't know if this is the black swan or whatever it is, but fuel, this makes a lot of things complicated. It makes a lot of things get expensive. And obviously in Australia, if construction slows down, we do quite badly here. As soon as that slows down, because that provides a lot of jobs. Dude, it's bear market conversations, unfortunately, and it's everything. I was having a look. We can have a look at all the stuff later. But I was looking at gold, at metals, equities, and I was like, looks like a lot of them look like they've topped, man. A lot of it looks like
we spoke about that for a while. We spoke about what a market collapse more like holistically outside of just crypto, and crypto has front run this move, right? And we say we front run the bull market, we front run the bear market. It looks like the rest of the world wants to, or not wants to, but is starting to show weakness, Craig. Like, I mean, I'll pull up the gold chart here. Look at this weekly chart. I said this for a while, we've said this for a while too as well. If I put it on the monthly, what you see here is you have these aggressive moves up in gold, okay? And they can take anywhere. Like this one here in 1976 took 4 years, but it went up crazy. Went from $140 to $700, so like a 3-4x. This one here in 2007, 2008, okay, when the GFC happened, it went from about $700 to about $1,800. So that's about a 3x as well, just shy of. Okay, this one more recently, okay, in 2023, October, rallied from $1,900 to $5,000. So just, again, shy of a 3x. Every time you see a massive, prolific, like a big parabolic move in gold, you often see a bear market or a consolidation, a reaccumulation phase for nearly decades, Craig. For like this one here was 2011 to 2023. This one here was from 1981 to 2006. So we've been saying that when you get a big parabolic move like we've just seen over the past couple of years, you will have a correction. You will have a correction. Now, I know China is buying a lot of gold because they maybe want to make it the world global currency. But Craig, parabolic price action, it only has one direction, and that's down after it goes up so aggressively. But you're right, like this weekly candle here on gold, and I mean, it's a monthly candle as well, but if we pull out the weekly last week, okay, was a 10% candle on gold. That's so much money. That's billions of dollars. Like, people can't even comprehend. Like, it says that. No, it doesn't tell me on this, but that is so much money. Like, we're talking trillions and billions of dollars moving so liquidly in and out of these markets, Craig. My good friend also suggested that people are getting out of metals and and moving into the S&P because they thought, well, if this war does really take off, then what actually happens to the US dollar becomes more devalued. So therefore, what increases? Your stocks and your equities, right? Because they have because they will go up because the stock of the price of the US dollar will go down. So yeah, man, it's very interesting times. Very interesting times.
Have a look at pull up the silver chart, Greeny. I think that one looks even worse.
Is it a meme coin, man?
I mean, that to me, that just looks like she's coming down, man. Like big blow off top. Look at that.
Yeah.
Like boom. Like
Well, it's already down 50% from the highs, Craig.
like
43% from the highs.
we spoke about this on the show a couple of weeks ago. And I mentioned that from just listening to other guys, typically silver pulled back sooner, and it actually has done that. So again, good to see things play out. I mean, geez, if you chase these pumps, you would have got slaughtered at the top there. Imagine the people who are lining up to buy this stuff, and now they're like, no, like she's coming down, and just seeing this play out now.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of interesting how I sort of feel Bitcoin's held up pretty well comparatively, but then also has dumped aggressively prior. So it's down. It's halved, hasn't it? Bitcoin almost. So it's sort of we front ran this. So I'm feeling a bit better sitting in Bitcoin than I would in other things, because I think other things still have quite a lot lower to pull back. But then when they dump, that's where I become interested, because I want to see what Bitcoin does. When everything eats shite, what is Bitcoin going to do? And I'm really interested to see. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen Bitcoin, how it fares versus everything else when it just turns to shite. So do people flood to Bitcoin, for safety?
I don't know. I don't
think so.
I don't think so either. I don't think it's that asset yet. And I think you get so caught up in a CT, like crypto Twitter narrative and ecosystem, that people aren't just going to flood to Bitcoin. Okay. They'll probably flood to it probably puts a bit of pressure on property. I don't think property is going to crash in Australia. I think it'll have a 5 to 10% correction in probably the premium areas. Maybe it does crash in other locations, right? Because there's just people don't want to live there, that people can't afford it, blah, blah, blah. Brad mentioned bond yields, which I have pulled up on the screen as well. But Mr. Pot US 5000 says, big up, fellas. Thanks for tuning in, Mr. Pot. But where is BTC going? I hear below 60K US is the next target. Look, I mean, a sweep of the 59K low at bare minimum seems inevitable. It seems inevitable. Whether we can hold that or not, or whether we actually do break into that 50K region it's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks or the next couple of months. Again, you're going to remember, bear markets take a long time. And crypto specifically, what do we say, Craig? The reaccumulation range of the 2018 bear market was 1,000 days before it changed its structure on a high time frame back to bullish. I don't think people understand bear markets can take a long, long time. Any comment on that specifically before we discuss the yields?
My main comment is, God, 3 years is going to be a tough time, man. I hope we don't get 3 years. Imagine doing the show for 3 more years saying we're almost there.
Yeah. Well, we might have to go back to our day jobs before. Craig,
we might have to go back to teaching, and I might have to go back to PTing in the gym for a bit.
The interesting part, though, is the institutional demand for Bitcoin, Craig. Like the wallets over 100K Bitcoin, 100 Bitcoin is just accumulating at the fastest rate since 2014. So that's in 12 years. And that was when Bitcoin was like pennies, right? So the fact that they're accumulating this much Bitcoin at $70,000, 68, whatever it is right now, 66, like that says something. That says something from a international scale. Wealth is going into Bitcoin specifically, but it's going to take time. But I think it needs to be, I mean, everyone's kind of saying you need to have at least a little bit of exposure to Bitcoin specifically. They're not saying crypto. And I mean, if you keep reading about all the Solana Foundation comments as well, I'm getting so bearish on everything in crypto. Like, it's actually crazy. Like, don't get me wrong. You will be able to swing trade and scalp trade these and spot trade these coming out of a bull market. There will always be opportunities of outperformance, okay? And I think that's the big lesson for a lot of people who already watch our show or listen to our show, that they understand that if you take an active approach, you're probably going to win. It's the passive approach of oh yeah, everything goes up in crypto, or you can just pick this altcoin because it's bullish tech. Like, that is a thing of the past, Craig. And what we're noticing is that this transition to a more active approach where some things will outperform in certain periods of time, But if you buy and hold it, it's probably not going to outperform at least Bitcoin or probably other things like we've seen over the past year, right? So that transition into a more active approach is really going to be emphasized in the years to come, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think we're just going to continue to see altcoins, like I've seen you mention in your post, continue to bleed out.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw some post up. I don't know if you put it up or someone else put it up, but they were saying some altcoins were at levels lower price wise than the FTX crash.
Yes. Yeah. Correct. And
wow,
like, that was like pretty much. I'm not going to say the bear. It was around about the bear market bottom was the FTX crash, but it wasn't like we still went sideways for a long time after that. But you're right, Craig. The fact of like some of those altcoins are below their prices when FTX was like gone under, it just tells you how bearish you should be on those altcoin pairs. Now, as I said before, there will be a time they will pump because crypto will run it back. There'll be the next bull market. There'll be an opportunity. Okay, they'll probably move up at least 2-3x potentially because they'll be so oversold, but they will never go back to all-time highs. It's like logistically impossible for that amount of money to be concentrated yet again on these assets. And it continues to be compounded with the amount of meme coin launches every single day. I can't remember how many, but I saw something recently. I don't know, because of the amount of meme coin launches that are happening. There's like 30 million crypto tokens or something. When I first joined crypto, there was like less than 1,000. Like, it's just crazy that what Pump Fund has done, because it really changes the perspective of most people to go, why don't I just speculate on this potential meme or this attention-based trade rather than buying something like Link, which is arguably one of the best sort of tech blockchain, being an oracle, opportunities out there, but it hasn't translated to price go up in the token in what capacity. And I don't think it ever really does. Like, maybe you will, and again, like I said, you will get a time to trade in. I think it does outperform in a period of time. But unless you're taking an active approach, listening to our show every day, or maybe watching the charts, you're probably going to miss that active time to buy a little bit and then obviously sell it when it does pump eventually again. But maybe it never does, Craig. That's the other thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to be very selective about which altcoins we buy moving forward. That's for sure. And I think everyone's probably learned that lesson. I learned that in 21. Probably people that came in 22, 23, 24 are probably learning that now as well. I think it's a lesson you have to go through, in that altcoins should be traded kind of as meme coins, and ignore the tech or fundamentals mostly, because that doesn't always translate to price go up. I mean, if it did, then Chainlink would be pumping, dude. Like, it was interesting. I worked out, I traded for my parents a little bit from 21, and I got out of most of their crypto when Bitcoin pumped to 98 on that relief rally, and I was tallying up what they made the most of their money on, and it was actually two things: Bitcoin and XRP. Funny enough, XRP, they ended up getting about a 5x, which is pretty nice. Those were the two they made money on: XRP and Bitcoin. The other alts I had them in actually lost money over time. And if I just in fact, if I'd put all their money in XRP, they would have come out really nicely. If I'd put it all into BTC, really nice. They got about just shy of a 2x, but they probably would have got a 3 to 5x if I just put in Bitcoin. So
isn't it interesting? It is interesting.
Like trading, say, I think they had 5 different pairs at one time. If I just stuck to Bitcoin, they would have made more money, or I would have made them more money, and way less stress and way less charts to follow. So it's like, I think more and more people are working that out, and it's just a much simpler trade, honestly, to trade Bitcoin. For me personally, it almost always goes up, and it gives you long swings, especially on the weekly and monthly, whereas altcoins are just a bit turbulent. So going into the next bull run, for me, not financial advice, but the way I'm looking at it again is doing the same thing again, where I don't go into too many baskets and really just focus on Bitcoin and then the metas that come along. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah, it was just Bitcoin and XRP, man. So shout out to XRP. Hopefully, and what I'm trying to say there is there will be altcoins that do well in a bull market, but you got to be selective now. You can't just pick anything. So yeah, no, I guess you got to be the way crypto's maturing, you've got to be a better trader now. You have to get better. Obviously, I guess everyone's got better, So if you
Mhm.
don't upskill yourself, you're going to
Exactly.
get out traded, and
Yeah,
that's what's
you're not
happening now.
that's a great point. You're no longer early. You're no longer early to this macro to the macro market of crypto, to Bitcoin, to Solana, to there will emerge, there will always emerge. Like that's how all markets work. There'll be a new stock, there'll be a new asset class, there'll be a new AI company, there'll be a new crypto token that is crazy. Like Hyperliquid is a great example of that over the past couple of years, right? So there will always be a new opportunity. It's just it won't look the same as what it did in the past. And because you're no longer early, you need to, as Craig said, you need to like adapt. You need to become better. And I think you need to be more active because as we said, unless you're active, a lot like I still see it on my timeline, Craig. I still see people saying, "Oh, I'm buying this altcoin. It's the future of tech, blah blah blah." And I'm like, bro, I just don't know about. I just don't know how you can do that. I mean, before we do talk about bond yields, because we've just talked about crypto for a little bit now, but this chart here just tells you everything you need to know. 38% of altcoins are at all-time lows, which is worse than what we saw right after FTX. 90% of them were never supposed to make it anyway.
Yeah.
These are Simon Dedrick's words. No users, no revenue, no comeback. But if you think that means there's nothing to buy right now, you're confusing a purge with a funeral. The best vintages in venture capital history were born in markets exactly like this one. That's what we're talking about. Those with actual theses, conviction here will be the ones bragging about those entries in 12 months' time. Well deserved. I mean, I agree with this, but I also don't agree with that last sort of comment. Like, I will say 99% of altcoins will never run it back. And I think that's the lesson too. It's how do you find that 1%? And I mean, it's pretty obvious that Hyperliquid is within that 1%, but what else is in that 1%? Bintensor, like Tau. I've seen that all over my timeline. Maybe that's it, or maybe I don't know. Maybe privacy with XMR. Okay, that could be a particular move. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But isn't that interesting, Craig? That 38% of all altcoins are at all-time lows. Okay, and we're only just like 150 days into this bear market. Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It is crazy, and I think that number's only going to go up, man.
Yeah.
And I think like what Simon's saying here, this is just a cleansing that happens every bear market. Every bear market, the coins that aren't meant to be here get washed away, and as you can tell, that's probably what so far almost 40% of them, and probably soon to be a lot more. Like if you really think about it, if you look at the top 100 crypto coins, you could probably get rid of 95 of them.
Yeah.
And just be left with 5 that may actually do something, and that number is probably generous. I mean, people aren't even fleeing to Bitcoin, and that's the one I'd say does have a real use case. A real use case. That Ethereum, Solana to a certain degree. There are coins that have use cases. Obviously, privacy coins do as well. But wow, it's just another. It just feels exactly like the bear market last time to me. And it's interesting how even up to maybe a year ago when Bitcoin, was it about a year ago, it was fighting at about 107. And I remember looking back, I remember the feeling I had then. I was so optimistic. And I think back to myself then, I really wish I could go back in time. And I know we all think this and say to myself, this doesn't look good on the chart. Like the chart didn't look good. And back then, I feel like I was probably forcing a narrative saying, no, we're going to get a bounce here. Obviously, we broke below 107, 106, and it was night from there. But it's a lesson for me as well to look at the chart really honestly and earnestly and trade according to the chart, not to what I want to happen.
Exactly.
And I really wanted it to pump from 107, man, with every fiber of my being. So I was saying, no, I think we will. I think we will.
Yeah.
Just lessons, man. Unfortunately, lessons to be learned there. And it is going to be probably quite a tough time for the next 3 to 6 months. But I remember going back to the last bear market, and as bleak as it was, I made my most money during that time in my entries. So I guess the lesson is stick around, guys. If you're still here listening, congratulations, because you're here when it's a ghost town. So 90% of people are gone now. So that's the good news. The good thing now is people are gone and aren't going to spot the opportunity. So now you actually get to get in potentially earlier than 90% of the people, and you get to ride the wave as they re-enter. That for me was the easiest money. So although we're talking quite bearishly here, the opportunities now are far greater than they were, I think, a year ago. A year ago, I think, because we were all still, a lot of us were still convinced we're going higher, and
And
we've got
we did go higher from that. We did go from 107. We had the tariff dip down to 74. Then we did rally to new all-time highs on Bitcoin specifically. And Ethereum did outperform in that period of time. And we did de-risk Solana and allocate Ethereum. That's when we bought up Pudgy. So there were opportunities, but I do agree that we're even more limited. They were even more limited.
And I think the downside then was the downside risk then was so much greater. Whereas here, I'm talking specifically Bitcoin, really.
Yes.
The upside from here is a lot greater, I think, than the downside. The only thing is, like you and I speak about, it's time. It's how long. Like if I get a 59K entry, I may have to hold. I possibly won't be able to make profit on that for maybe 2 years. I don't know.
It could be longer, Craig. Let's be real. It could be 3, 4 years before you at that level. Because if you look here, like it took it's 365 days, the last period. And again, I'm not a full cycle believer. I'm just an analyzer, and that just so happens to have confluence with what price is doing. Okay, but if we take a look at it, we're only at 150 days. Like so. Based on history, if you want to think about it, even if it's not going to be exactly a year, what if it's 300 days? That's still another 150 days. That's still another 5 months before the bottom in theory could start to occur, right? And 5 months from now is about August. And I've been saying that I think Q3, end of Q2, start of Q3, around Q3 is probably where we start to see a macro bottom start to form. You're going to have complacency bounces along the way. So that's my worry. Like I'm the same. I actually don't own any Bitcoin. I sold when it pumped to 70. I didn't get out at 76, but I got out at 73 with an average buy of 65. So for me, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of happy to do that because I think we'd still have at least long way sideways or probably lower. The high probability is we do have lower.
I'm still thinking we could see in the 50s.
I think 50s, I think happen.
That's 40s, not really a bold call either. That's like, I think we go lower. In fact, I think, in my personal opinion, I think we're going to break below that 60K, and I reckon we could even see 53. To me, that area there, for me personally, I'm get excited about that price. That for me is quite a good, like the upside potential. Yeah, it might take me a few years to realize the gains. I'm okay with that because I think if I buy at 50K, I reckon I could get a 3x very conservatively from there, like without being super optimistic. That would only just break the prior all-time high by about 10%. So I know 3x to people probably doesn't excite many people, but if you can go with size and get a 3x, it's life. It can be life changing, man. So yeah, it's a tough time because at the moment it's hard to come on stream every day and give like, yeah, guys, here's this and here's that and here's this and here's that. There's not a lot. Like the basket of opportunity at the moment, single digit.
It's absolutely minimal. And I think the important part is it proves our point. When you're in a bull market, realize how lucky you are and take profit. That's Craig. One of the proudest things I am about this channel and about us is that we were very open to always us like, hey guys, like we're gonna scale out here because of A, B, C, D, E, Y, like whatever it is, right? And so it just like in times like this where the opportunities are so limited, when everybody on the timeline is calling out, it's just, oh dude, I can't stand half those influencers on the timeline anymore. I really can't. And we'll talk about that shortly, but like it's so important that you understand when you're in a bull market, the opportunity is so important. And it's important that you rotate from trend to trend, that you rotate profits back into other assets that are probably going to hold up value longer term or cash, right? Because cash is what you need to live. You can't Bitcoin, you can loan against it, but it's pretty aggressive rates, right? So you're not going to be doing that for a while just yet. So yeah, it's an interesting time. I mean, VP Football just asked, any predictions you guys have for this current war? Current escalation starting to look scary. I'm not going to comment on, I'm not a war expert in any capacity. But we did, I don't know if you just joined VP Football, but we did touch on it at the start of the show. So do make sure you go back and watch that or listen to it. But yeah, I would agree with your latter point there. It is starting to look scary, and it's starting to impact at least Australia and countries like us a lot more then probably people start to realize, Craig. So again, I'm not here to spread like life fun, but I went to the store yesterday and stocked up on a lot of stuff because I was like, you never know, like either prices go through the roof or stock starts to become an issue because fuel becomes an issue and therefore like they can't even get stock to the shelves. Like it could be a COVID 2.0 only 6 years later, Craig.
Funny you say that. I was talking to my wife. I've been waiting. One of the things that I have spoken about on the channel, I've been waiting to see what the reason is that the market turns to shite. Because obviously the humans, we want a reason. We don't accept that this is just cyclic. Like for me, regardless of the war, metals were going to crash, equity's going to crash, crypto's going to crash. It was all going to happen anyway. This is just the thing. This is the secret, this is the secret sauce now is the reason. And I think it's going to make people more scared than they would be if it was just a market pullback. So people, I think, are going to get scared out of their positions. And that's why we're going to get prices lower than we should, which is possibly why we get a wick down to 40K. Now, I remember when Bitcoin was 126,000, there were people on the timeline saying, and I know they'd say this as tongue in cheek, but I know some believed it, was we're never going below 100K again. I saw people, like, I remember when I was saying, I reckon we'll break below the prior all-time high of 69K, and people laughed. They were like, we can't, there's too much support there.
Yeah.
We're lower now.
Yeah.
Right now, we're lower. Like, I'm not laughing because I think it's great. I've got Bitcoin. I don't want that to be true.
Yeah.
But it is true. And I just thought people were so crazy how in a bull market, because I've seen this happen time and time again, people just don't think it can go down because their trust in the asset or their belief in the asset is so strong when price goes up. But when price goes down, people just become so flimsy with stuff, which is why I think I'm going to get a great entry into Bitcoin, lower than I think we think it's going to go. As far as the war goes, I'm the same as Greeny. I don't try to be an expert in war. All I know is it creates the fact we're even talking about it means people are scared and I think they're going to get more fearful than they really should. I would just stick to the charts, guys. TA, that's your friend now. TA is not the news. News, don't trade off news, man.
No, interesting you say that. Again, my hedge fund trader friend, he was like, I don't know how you trade, Greeny, but like usually you break it into technicals and fundamentals. But some people have more recently said they would add a third party to that, and it's geopolitical. And I was like, that's really interesting. I from my trading experience, I would allocate geopolitical under the narrative trend, the narrative being fundamentals. So it still would fall under technicals, being your chart, TA, and fundamentals being sentiment, news, time, analysis, world situations, geopolitical risk, prices of fuel, prices of energy. That's what I would underpacked as a fundamental. So your thesis side of trading, right? So he was like, a lot of people are starting to trade less on what charts are saying, Craig, and other on what is Trump going to do, or what is Iran going to do, or how is this going to impact markets in a month or in 2 months' time. Okay, if oil is here now, where is it going to be in 2 months' time, sort of thing. So very interesting situation, I thought, for him to bring that up, because I was like, that's interesting. That's interesting from a different perspective. So yeah, man, it's fascinating. But the bond yields, they are pumping. I mean, if we have a look, this is worldwide for those that aren't obviously watching. But I mean, if I briefly just run through it, US is up 0.35% on the 10-year bonds over the past month. UK is up 0.63%. Australia's up 0.42%. Brazil up 0.7%. Italy up 0.6%. France up 0.47%. South Africa up 1.3%. Mexico up 0.55%. Turkey up 5.4%. Craig, everything is basically up over the past month and week in the 10-year bonds. Again, a worrying sign that we're going to have to increase rates. And I mean, everyone in America was always like, oh, dude, we're getting rate cuts this year. We're getting rate cuts this year. Dude, what's happening here is showing you that you're probably not going to have that. And I mean, we're already having that in Australia, where we've already had 2 rate increases after having 3 decreases in the previous year. So I'm reading that we could have another 3 increases in 2026. Great for us homeowners here. But honestly, Craig, I think about it. It stresses me. I'm not sleeping as well with this sort of stuff, but it's risk. It's leverage. It's debt, right? In the same token, I'm like, well, honestly, where else would I kind of want like my money to be in right now. Like Australian property still seems like a great bet. We have the Olympics in, what is it, 6 years time. The corner that we live in is probably one of the highest location, or one of the most best locations to own property in the whole country. I don't know, man. Like it's with the bond, like it's who knows? Nobody has a magic like ball that can predict what's going to happen. You just kind of have to make decisions based on what you know and analysis and all these sorts of things. But for me, I'm like, well, what else would I be happy to hold that amount of money in right now? Even if I am leveraging debt in a few different ways, and maybe you have to sell it in a few years' time. Hopefully you make a bit of profit on that, right? Or at least you own more than what you did previously when you bought it. I don't know, Craig. What are your thoughts here with the bonds continuing to increase on the 10 years? That's crazy.
Man, I've just, the way I look at it with all this stuff turning bad is I just reflect back to the reason why I got into crypto and understand that even though the bear got so bad last time and so many people left, everyone disappeared, and this is a time when governments weren't holding Bitcoin, by the way. So this is when Bitcoin was even flimsier than it feels now. You didn't know back then and this would have been even true when you first started, you didn't really know if Bitcoin would make it. I thought it would, because I think it's a virus. It's a financial virus that we've seen. It can't be stopped. They've tried. Now banks are having to play ball with it. Obviously, we've got, the Clarity Act, or the crypto bill, sorry, looking to move forward, and there's a bit of turn throwing there. And I just think to myself, has anything changed in my conviction or my thesis with Bitcoin from when I entered in 21 till now? And when I think about, if anything, it's proven to me what I thought would happen. So from my point of view, the way I look at it, I've got to stay strong. And even though all over the timeline, people are telling me Bitcoin's failed, there's certain people coming out saying the crypto, it's all going to AI and all this other stuff now. I'm just going to stay convicted. I'm just going to go pretty ham on Bitcoin, man, and try and do what I did last time. And buy the bottom and sell on the pump up, which I think will happen. Because like we said, it's like the tide's the ocean, and it's going to go down, but it will go up again. How much it goes up, I don't know. But just to touch on your point, I can't think of something else I'd rather get into than that. Because metals, for instance, could take a long time of consolidation. You could be looking at it 1 to 2 decades. So for me, I'm hoping Bitcoin doesn't have that sort of trajectory. Hopefully it pumps a bit sooner than metals and things like that. And I think it will. But yeah, it's just about having, I suppose, a little bit of conviction goes a long way now, because in this time in the market, I think a lot of people, even watching the show right now, perhaps in comment, if you feel like this, part of them might be like, is crypto actually going to make it? Is this actually going to stick around? I think it will. I think there's going to be a place for it. But once again, I think you're gonna see certain ones go really well, and a lot of it's going to die out. But yeah, it's going to be, your conviction's going to get tested over the next sort of year. I think a lot of people's conviction's going to be tested, and you're going to see the timeline get more and more quiet. I mean, even the DMs you get now, way less. Even the scammers are less now, man. I'm getting less scammer messages, so that's a good indicator. But yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts, Greeny? What are your thoughts on crypto specifically? You still bullish, or what are your thoughts? Most of it needs to die, and only a few things survive.
Yeah. I'm bullish on being an active trader, like being an active investor, being an active trader. And I'm bullish on taking that advantage over the next few years. And I'm bullish on the fact that you probably only have, in my opinion, one more cycle to make it in crypto. That's pretty bearish, but I think things like Bitcoin last. I think Hyperliquid will do well, okay, in the future. And like I said before, I think, like, don't get me wrong, I still think Solana could outperform in a period of time. I still think Ethereum will outperform. And what I mean by outperform is Solana could go to $50, and in a year's time, it could be back at $120. And there's a 2x, right? So that's what I mean. Like, if you can capture those trades, then you're going to be great, right? As Bitcoin moves below $68,000, live again on the show. Crypto as a whole, it's very interesting. I think it's make or break, in my opinion, for a lot of things. And it's proof in the pudding with 38% of altcoins at all-time lows already that majority of them are going to break. Any airdrop you get in the future, sell immediately. That's always been the alpha, and it will continue to be the alpha. My pinned tweet right now on my profile, I can read that. I think that's like, the longer you're in crypto, the more you realize most on-chain rewards systems are complete BS. Points, scores, tiers, incentives, ratings are all fabricated, easily gamified, and all designed to keep you grinding. The worst part, they don't reward loyalty. They just keep you in the casino long enough while insiders slowly exit. I think that's going to keep compounding in so many ways. I think Bitcoin becomes adopted, like we've spoken about over the previous month or so, and Zenika's good take, and a few other people. Like Ethereum specifically, blockchain tech is great. Like EVM, I think, is going to be a future of a lot of different maybe AI integrations. But if everyone else keeps bringing out stablecoins that are not pegged to a particular chain, that's interesting. So I said this a while. Maybe the crypto stocks, so Coinbase, Circle, Robinhood, maybe they're the new altcoins that you need to think about rather than actual altcoins that are built inside of crypto. I think you got to be active, and I think you got to be aggressive, and I think that's already been proven over the past 3 or 4 years, Craig. I mean, I still go back to that Mad Lad trade. People talking about it like they've got an airdrop coming for their backpack wallet and for their exchange. I mean, I sold that for 30 grand, and that asset has never got close. It's up at $1,300 now, and like it's just like you trade a trend and get out. Like like be early to a trend. If you're not early to a trend, probably fade it and look for the next trend, I think is the way to think about it. So I think there'll always be speculative opportunities in crypto, whether it's AI on base, okay, those sorts of things as well. Maybe like periods of outperformance with NFTs potentially as well.
Mm-hmm.
But even that, I'm kind of like, well, when am I selling my Pudgy? That's my thought, is actually I'm going to sell this. When is it going to be? Do I take the loss now at $8,000? Or do I hope it goes lower and take a bigger loss? Or am I better to recount a little bit? Say it goes back to $10,000. Should I sell it there? And then I save $2,000 of my money? I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So yeah, crypto, I mean, it's only worth $2 trillion, Craig. I still think it pushes towards 5 to 10 in the next bull cycle, but majority of that's going to be stable coins. And I mean, I think a big lesson too is anybody that uses these total charts, hold on, they're up here. Anybody that uses these total charts, so like total 2 and total 3, where it shows you overall market cap of total altcoin market. I think the really important lesson here with these charts here is that this is actually including stable coins. So that's irrespective of altcoins. So you need to have an actual chart, which we show you on this channel, where it doesn't include stable coins, because that is the true chart, this one here. And as you can see, it's macro lower highs, macro lower lows for since 2017. So like, unless you're actually tracking fundamentally correct analysis, you're probably not going to be staying up to date with what's actually happening in real time. So yeah, look, I'm bullish on crypto in certain ways. I'm also quite bearish in crypto in so many ways. You?
Yeah, it's pretty easy to get bearish right now. I just try and, because at times like this, it feels like there's no money out there. And then I remind myself like of 23 when puppets came out, and I know I refer back to them a lot, but when they came out, it felt like there was no money in the space. It felt there was no one out there spending money. And I just remember how quickly hype and money can come back to it, where something like a puppet went from $4,000 to about 50,000 US very quickly, and how quickly money came back when they saw opportunity. So probably an important thing for people to remember is there is money sidelined that will come back when things get exciting. So it's not like, even though there is all this turmoil in the world, back in 22, 23, it was the same situation. Maybe it wasn't war at that time, but there's always something. There's always a reason why crypto's doing shite and why it's never coming back. We're always given those reasons. But very quickly, when something starts to pump, sentiment can change so fast and money comes pouring back. I don't even know where this money comes from, man. Like sometimes you're sitting back watching these things go and going, where was this money a month ago when everyone was so scared? And all of a sudden people were buying puppets for half a BTC, man.
That's crazy, bro.
Like half a Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like, so it can and it will and can come back, but what it will be is the question. I don't know what it'll be. I never thought Bitcoin JPEGs would pump like that, not like that. So something's going to come again in a bear market. Every bear market, something comes along and gigasends. We saw Pepe do it. We saw Mog do it. We saw Bitcoin puppets do it. We saw Mad Lads do it. We saw Pudgy Penguins do it. we saw a lot of stuff where there was opportunities to make massive 10, 100x's. So people just have to be patient and wait for those opportunities to come. But when they come, man, it is exciting, and you just got to hang in there. Because if I hadn't stuck around in the last bear market, I would have missed all of those, dude. If I'd come back in the bull, I wouldn't have done nearly as well, because I would have had to buy Bitcoin at 60 something thousand. I would have got a 2x and been like, oh, is that it? And I think that's why a lot of people who trade, or who you see those comments like, oh, this bull run was the worst. It just wasn't the worst. You've just got to have your ear to the ground and be aware what the metas are. This last bull run was great. And I think, but they're just different each time.
Well,
They're
you
a
had
little
to,
bit different.
exactly. You had to go more on chain. You had to actually dabble, because you couldn't just predict, like pick an altcoin and hold it on a centralized exchange and it goes up, right? This time you actively had to seek out, as you're saying, opportunities. Like the virtual ecosystem was huge. The AI agents was huge. Okay. There was ample opportunities in so many ways. Sui meme coins had a season, AVAX meme coins had a season. Like Clock Emu went to 200 plus million. Like there was opportunities everywhere if you actually spent a bit of time and left just the centralized nature of crypto and actually went on chain and investigated. So I think on chain opportunities will always thrive, but again, you got to be in and out and take profits, I think, and you got to move on. So,
and I think what we spoke about last time, we spoke about this, I think on our last episode, was opening your mind to opportunities and not getting too scared. Don't let the market scare you too much that when an opportunity comes, you're too gun shy to take it. They're going to come, and you've just got to keep positive enough to not be too scared to enter things. I'm not saying enter everything. Obviously, take your time. That's the good thing about this time in the market. You've got nothing but time. Like there's so much time. You don't really have to rush things, but they're probably the best trades. Things that sit, like even Puppet sat at, man, they were about $300 for months, man. For months, and I didn't buy them. And then eventually I saw it and went, hang on, this could pop. And I eventually got the balls to buy it, and then a gigasen. So when the opportunities come at the time, it's probably not going to look like that. It's not going to look like an opportunity. So I think the lesson for me that I'm trying to take away with this bear market is, even though it seems scary, don't let that fear scare you out of potential opportunities. Keep positive and wait for them. Be patient. That's probably the main thing. Be patient. But when it comes, I'm not going to say go ham, but I am. I'm so keen to slam buy. I'm really missing trading.
Yeah.
And it's funny you said how much. What would you do now to have the bull market back? And that's the same way I felt after the last bull run. And that's when I repented for my sins. And I said, if we get another bull market, I won't make the same mistake. And luckily, I did remove a lot of those mistakes. Mistakes were still made, and I tried. And we always can improve. But yeah, I'm getting. Yeah, I think the time's coming where we're going to see opportunities in a few ways. And the bear market always has an amazing way of printing money in a way that you didn't see coming. So I don't know what the meta will be. I don't know how they're going to repackage it. But it's just about staying optimistic and knowing there is money to be made here, but just being aware. But yeah, it could be a fairly long journey. You're thinking Q3, aren't you, Greeny, for a bit of a
I think that's when Bitcoin maybe starts to put in a macro bottom, is around Q3.
Not far. I mean, we're almost in April now, man. So
yeah,
not long to go.
No, I would say around that time. Like if we have a look, if I turn off my magnet, we're already at like day 175 this month. So time is still on our side here. I mean, it makes me worried, but it also makes me excited because you're closer. You're closer every day, as Andrew says. Every day that it happens, you're closer to where the reversal potentially occurs. But it's just going to take time. Wall Street week ahead, persistent Iran war, energy price surges set to sway wavering stocks. S&P 500 drops for the fourth straight week in a row, sinks to a 6-month low. Middle East developments expected to dominate the markets this week. Oil surging, like we've been discussing, rising treasury yields as well. Investors watch technical levels as the S&P 500 drops below a key trend line. We actually haven't brought that up on the show today. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. I even have that trend line drawn as well, Craig. So like it has dropped below a key level here at 6,530. We have seen a break below on the current. Oh, I haven't shared it. There we go. Haven't shared it. There we go. So if we have a look here on the weekly chart, if we do get this weekly close in 4 days' time, it is below a pivotal level here, and it looks like a distribution above that previous support level that we held in October 25 and also in November 2025. I mean, if you lose the stochastic as well and you start to zoom out, the monthly has been overextended since September 2023, which is actually when crypto started its bull cycle as well. So very similar period of time where we actually saw a correlation in a correction period throughout 2022, Craig, in the S&P 500 and Bitcoin at the same time. And then we saw a rally on S&P 500. So there's correlation there. And maybe crypto just kind of front run this move. But as you can see here, also on the monthly is right at that pivotal level where we did see a monthly wick way back in November and October last year as well. Big crucial level here. If it starts to show this, Craig, and then, yeah, I think this starts to fall back towards 6,000 points, if not a little bit lower in time. As always, not financial advice. You're just commenting on what has happened in the past and what potentially could happen in the future. But yeah, S&P 500 showing a bit of weakness. Oh, Craig just sent me this as well. Google searches for help with mortgage. This would be me. Have soared to the highest level in history, surpassing even the peak of the global financial crisis in 2008. In 2008, it got to just shy of 80 on the Google trend. Right now, it is literally just shy of 100. Craig, help me with my mortgage, please. What do I do in this situation? Do I sell? Do I keep renting? My rent's going to go up if I keep renting. What do I do in this situation? Do I just cop it? Do I sell everything and try and hold the house? What is the trade? What is the scenario? It's a very interesting time. Very interesting time.
Yeah, I heard a thing on the radio the other day, and it was an ad, and it was saying if you're looking to get into the housing market, the Australian government's got something where you just need 40% of the total value of the home, and they'll help subsidise the other part.
Dude, Australian government is a Ponzi. What the
Yeah,
hell?
so I was like, what? So now the government's obviously starting to step in and say, we'll part own your home.
Dude, they want the property market to stay valuable so much.
I was like, wow, when an ad comes out like that, like, yeah, bear market stuff, man. I'm like, oh my God, like, oh, well, I guess that'll prop the market up. But geez, man, like when the government's got to step in and cop 6. The other bad thing is then people don't really own their home, do they? The government owns 60%. Smart,
exactly,
real
bro.
smart. Like the government they're relentless, aren't they? Like, don't worry, guys. We've created the situation where we keep printing money. Now we'll help you. It's like you're not helping anyone,
dude. When does this all blow up? Dude, I don't know. Just to clarify, this is in the US specifically since 2004. Okay, not Australia. We don't have that up with us right now. But yeah, man, it's an interesting time. It's a very interesting time. Amongst all the FUD, amongst all the fear, amongst all the blood. In the market, strategy is set for its second biggest Bitcoin buying quarter, despite Bitcoin price slide. For the first quarter purchases have reached nearly 90,000 Bitcoin so far, the most since the fourth quarter in the end of the 2024. The meme coin super cycle was at the end of 2024. The quarter is not over yet. Very interesting. This is the second amount of Bitcoin purchase in history by MicroStrategy in a quarterly period since 2024, Craig. That's pretty crazy when you think about it. At least he's buying the dip.
Yeah, man. Yeah, good on him, mate. God bless his cotton socks. Keep the price up, brother.
Imagine if he wasn't buying. Like, what would the price be? I mean, it's all OTC, I assume. So I don't know if he's OTC with exchanges, with whales. We don't know. So
yeah, I got no idea. The price doesn't pump based on that.
No, liquid books. There's not a circulating supply. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Weird, isn't it? It is weird, but nah, yeah. Keep buying, man. I'm not buying yet, Mr. Sailor, so I'm going to have to wait a bit longer for my entry. But yeah, good on him for going ham.
Yeah, and the last comment from today, guys, is senators say they've reached compromise on the yield to advance crypto market bill. If you remember, I'm going to say maybe a few weeks ago, we spoke about how the holdup was that banks didn't want Coinbase and whatnot to have stablecoin yield because it's a competitor, right? Basically, the Crypto Clarity Act. Basically, the update is that they potentially have a clearing path for the Crypto Clarity Act based on yield being allowed on stablecoin reward programs. So it's very interesting here, Craig. I mean, it'd be silly for them not to have it, but we'll wait and see, like whether this continues to develop in the coming weeks and months.
Yeah, interesting. Hopefully this gets through, man. Hopefully this gets through, and they allow the yields to go to be in there, because that would create a much more bullish environment. This is taking so long, dude. It's frustrating, eh? It's frustrating how the banks have such a stranglehold and everything. It sucks because it's not right. It's not right that they can only have that and competitors can't. That's not right. I just hope. Yeah, will the government do the right thing, Greeny?
I don't know, man. Congress, yeah, what are they doing in America? I mean, I think, yeah, actually, no, I don't know. I don't know how to treat this. I don't know how to treat
My
this.
prediction is the banks will mainly get their way.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. The banks will get their way, and the consumer will pay the price. I have yet to see the world go another way. I'd like it. I'd love to see the government step in. I'd love to see Big Donny step in and go, "If you banks, we're going with it." But that ain't happening.
It's above him. It's above him. He can't influence Congress, right? So
exactly, it's above his pay grade, and as powerful as people think he is, he's still got owners himself, right?
Yeah, he's a puppet. He's still a puppet. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just hope they get this thing done. So just so that average day crypto person can get a little win here, whether they do or don't, we've got to see. But man, get this through. Give us some bullish news. Yeah. Hopefully this progresses quickly and we can get some clarity on it.
Yeah, very good. As always, guys, thanks for tuning in on today's show. You can find us at Market Mates across Twitter, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts as well. If you would rather listen to us rather than tune into our live show on YouTube, Craig's Coin Purse and Greeny Trades. Guys, we're back every day at 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard or 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think daylight savings does change in April, so we might have to reevaluate. It might go back to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, but we'll update you as well. But guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you click follow. Make sure you click subscribe. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify. We very much appreciate it as well. Slowly growing now on that platform. Craig, we hope you have a lovely day as well today, and we'll be back again live tomorrow. Thanks for everyone for tuning in.
Thanks, Greeny. Thanks, everyone.